side, gets a block down the sideline, end zone, touchdown!
Colorado upsets 13th-ranked Penn State.
Center left foot shot off the post. It's hanging on the line. Goal for the Buffaloes.
Blitz coming. Speed in trouble. The ball's loose. Scooped up by Colorado, and a big man running all the way in. Fakes, blows by Fortune. That's way to the hoop. Goes up. Shot blocked from behind by Fortune. Loose ball away to Colorado. Dominic Collier up court to the right elbow. Behind the back. Step back. Three on the way. Right between the eyes. From downtown. Oh, the block on one end by Fortune. And Collier with a dagger on the other end. Welcome into the Buffalo Stampede. I'm Mark Johnson of KOA Radio, your play-by-play voice to the Buffs. Colorado basketball, that's what we're talking right now. CU man on Thursday night had a tough one, number 4 UCLA in town. They were on fire. Buffs, in fact, scored nearly 90 points in that ball game. Still ended up losing 104-89, Coach. That was, I'm not sure how you graded the defense after that one, but the offense was very good on both sides.
Well, the defense wasn't great. I mean, it can't be when you give up 104. But, a lot of that had to do with UCLA. They were in a zone, and when they get it going like that, they're very, very difficult to guard. We're not. I think we're the 6th team they scored over 100 on.
That's right.
So, but still, you always look internally first. But at some point, you got to tip your hat to your opponent. And I think that was one of the few times since I've been at Colorado, this being the 7th year, that I've said, okay, after the game, congratulations to them. I didn't think we played poorly. I thought offensively we scored 89 points. A lot of those shots were contested shots. So we're never happy with a loss. But UCLA was terrific that night, and so we had to move on quickly.
Yeah, Bryce Alford had 37 for them, and about half the threes he took and made. There were guys hanging all over him. Let's talk about a couple of your guys offensively. I think you and I have chatted a couple of times about Wesley Gordon being more aggressive offensively. Boy, Tad, the last 2 or 3 ball games, he's playing offense with a purpose.
He is. He's really scoring on the block, which is something we know he's capable of doing, but he hasn't really showed it up until the Arizona game and then UCLA.
Yeah.
Well, guys are looking for him, and he's being aggressive down there. So we need that out of Wesley. He's still a little hampered with an ankle injury, and that he's not quite fully recovered from that yet. So hasn't had a lot of great practice days, but certainly on game night he's been pretty good.
I don't need to tell you this. It's not often in college you have to really, really try to get somebody to shoot.
Yeah.
But with a guy that talented, you've had to really draw that out of him, haven't you?
Well, it's just his DNA is pass first, and I think in another life, maybe before or after, he'll be a point guard or was a point guard. But he really likes to distribute the ball, and he's unselfish by nature, and that's why he's such a great teammate. Our guys really like Wesley. They like playing with him, and certainly they like him off the court as well.
In that UCLA game, Daleon Brown, the freshman out of Michigan, got his first college start. That's a deep end of the pool to throw him in for his first start.
Yeah, the one thing about our 2 freshman guards, both Daleon and Bryce, they give us great energy, great enthusiasm. They play with a reckless abandon that I think this team kind of needs. We need that injection of youthful enthusiasm, if you will. So, Josh Fortune was late to shoot around, late to pregame meal, and so he was going to miss his start anyway. And so, what the heck, let's throw Deleon in there. I thought he responded well, and Bryce played very well off the bench. So those 2 guards are really they need to help us.
Hey, and they're coming along. Bryce had 11 points in that game, and I kind of got the sense with him being a California kid, he kind of liked the challenge of a lot of the guys he played against.
No doubt, yeah. And so I think, but when we play both UCLA and USC, Bryce, any of those sort of XJ, they always kind of perk up a little bit.
Boy, XJ, as of late, I think he's led the Buffs in scoring now 8 times, 3 of the last 4, something like that. He's really coming around right now for you.
He is. He's playing within himself and not forcing things. My whole thing with XJ is take great shots, and his numbers, in terms of field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, are very, very good. And so he is a mismatch nightmare. We tried playing him at the 3 for a little while in his career here, and not that he's not capable of doing that, but when he's at that 4 spot, he's such a mismatch nightmare because if a big guy's on him, he can take him outside, he can pick and pop. If a smaller guy's on him, he can post up, and he doesn't get that from the 3 spot like he does the 4 spot.
Ted, general sports is very black and white. I mean, you win, you lose, but as a coach, you do have to live in the gray area a little bit. The way your guys have competed the last, let's say, 3 ball games, do you like what you're seeing in that regard?
Well, mentally, you know,
Yes.
you may not be in the gray area, or you need to stay in the gray area. Emotionally, it's win or lose.
Right.
You know, I mean, and we're never happy with losses. So, but yeah, you have to look at how are you playing, who's playing well, what are you getting from this guy or that guy, and where's your team's, you know, psyche, so to speak. And the good thing about this team, you know, after the Utah game, where I felt like we weren't at our best in terms of emotion and really effort and focus, that's been there at Arizona State. It's been there at Arizona. It's been there against UCLA. We just haven't won those games, and we're going to keep knocking on the door, though.
Here in just a moment or so after the timeout, we're going to come back and see a little about the Read with the Buffs program. And I know getting your guys out in the community and getting them involved with folks, that's kind of important for the program.
Absolutely it is. You know, the one thing about our players, they're tremendous young men, and we talk about it in recruiting. You know, we talk to parents about the fact that we're going to surround your son with other great young men. And so anytime we can get them to interact with the public, the Read with the Buffs program is obviously interaction with young kids going to elementary schools and reading. It's a good thing because people can kind of reach out and touch, you know, a Buff, so to speak. And we got tremendous guys with great personalities. Some are a little bit more outgoing, some are a little bit quieter, but it's really good. It's a good experience for our players to be in that situation, but it's also good for, you know, young elementary school kids who maybe watch these kids on TV or come to games to get a chance to see them and meet them.
And that's part of the educational process. Yes, it's basketball. Yes, it's what's going on in the classroom, but it's also the education part of being a person, too.
Absolutely. And understanding giving back to your community, whatever community you're in, is so important.
All right. Well, the Buffs dropped that contest versus number 4 UCLA. We'll go and take a time out here to Stampede. When we come back, we'll recap the game on Sunday versus number 25 USC.
We're at Columbine Elementary School, and we are reading to the first graders and interacting with them a little bit. It's really important for Colorado to get involved with the community, to give back, because, you know, the community here, especially Boulder, really supports us. So it's really good coming back and interacting with everybody as well. It's always a good time, especially with all my fellow freshman friends. I remember we had a visitor, Irvin Johnson, from the Nuggets, come and visit us when I was really young at my elementary school, and he was a big influence on me. We always encourage everybody to come to the games, especially after we visit them, and then also like knowing that we also care about the community as well. I mean, this is just us being out here. It's really important for this, and that's why I like the community outreach program. I like doing community service, getting involved with the community as well.
I just graduated from CU, and I know the importance of reading, and for my kids to have the opportunity to have them see basketball players from CU, someone that has achieved great things by working hard, and for them to share that reading is important in life was something that I wanted my students to hear in the classroom. It's also great to have my students look up to these guys as role models, as someone in their community that they can look up to.
That's a Read with the Buffs program. This guy was out there kind of wowing some of the kids. Kind of fun getting out there and reading to the little ones, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is a bunch of curious kids, eyes wide open, just waiting for anything spectacular to come out of our mouths.
Did you do any recruiting with those young kids? Anyone look like they could play? Tell them, hey, you got to be a Buff.
Oh, yeah, there was a couple of tall kids up in there.
I like it. Hey, we got to talk about that game on Sunday. The Colorado Buffaloes fall to 0-5 in Pac-12 conference play as they lose to number 25 USC 71-68. This is one of those ball games when you look at the box score, Bryce, it really was kind of a self-inflicted loss, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would say our turnovers need to be reduced a lot, but I got to give it to us. We played hard. Once we lost to Utah, we figured out that we just got to keep playing hard. We took a blow to Arizona State by 1, and then we lost to Arizona. But I'm not going to lie, though. These guys have a lot of fight, which I respect. Yeah,
you guys are playing hard. I don't think that's even a question for anybody. But when you look at things, the miscues, the turnovers, and then giving up those offensive rebounds, it's kind of how do you want to say, mental mistakes, or how you want to categorize that? But those things have kind of been hurting you guys, haven't they?
I would say so. We have a tendency to take plays off. Not just the older guys, younger guys too, because we're a team, we're a family, and so everybody's accountable. It starts in practice, and practice needs to translate to the games. That's not happening right now, but there's still a lot of basketball left to play.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anybody wonders how often in practice these guys hear about defense and rebounding about every other word right out of Ted's mouth?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Rebound, hit somebody, pick up, guard the ball, and all those things.
Yeah. Where would you say is kind of the collective mentality of the Buffaloes now? I mean, it's a tough spot to be in 0-5. How would you say this team is kind of mentally right now? You guys still together, trying to be confident?
I would say us losing is bringing us closer together because, like I said, we're a family. And when guys aren't playing well or somebody makes a bad play, we don't get down on them. We're like, come on, next play, stay positive. And right now we're just staying positive. Even though we're 0-5, we still think we could beat anybody else on our schedule.
Well, you and De Leon will be getting more minutes, so the young guard is starting to kind of find themselves playing a little bit. Are you feeling better out there offensively and kind of getting in a flow?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Coach Boyle has told me he's given me some kind of freedom, I would say, me and De Leon, and it's pretty privileging because there's a lot of older guys, and I know they're leaving, and they're trying to make, get their shine, I guess, because I know they have aspirations to play in the NBA. But to Coach Boyle to give us a lot of minutes, I really appreciate it.
You know, I guess the lesson learned for a young guy like you is you earn your minutes, don't you? The harder you play, the better you play defensively, those kind of things, that gets you more minutes.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I said this in an interview yesterday that me and Dale are kind of like the Energizer bunnies for this team because we're young, we're fresh, we just want to get out there on the floor. And me and Dale came together and said defense first, and that's how we stay on the floor. And
we heard about this guy shooting the ball back in high school. We're starting to see that shot falling for you now.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting to get adjusted to it. I know college basketball is a whole lot faster than high school, and Coach Prelo's doing a great job of working with me on my shot and telling me take my time and just follow through.
It's time, though, for the Buffaloes. They go on the road for 2, Seattle and then Pullman. Time for you guys to get yourself a win, though.
Oh, yeah. Win coming.
Without question. Wednesday night, the Buffaloes will be in Seattle. Our radio broadcast, by the way, gets underway at 8:30 Mountain Time with the pregame. We'll tip that one off. The Buffs and the Huskies against the Washington Huskies in Seattle just after 9 o'clock. Keep up the good work. Good luck on this weekend.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right, the Buffs on the road. That's Bryce Peters as the Buffs fall to USC by 3. They're sitting at 0-5 in Pac-12 conference play. They've got some work to do. They'll start out this week in the great Northwest. Coming up next, we'll talk women's basketball. Head coach J.R. Payne joining us as we take another break here in the Stampede.
How kind of in those first few minutes we went away from everything we were doing that was making us be successful in the first half, both offensively and defensively. So I think that, we just weren't sticking to our principles and playing inside out like we had talked about, stopping them in transition, boxing them out, not letting them get second chance opportunities, and keeping Inigwe, kind of this, out of a non-factor as we had in the first half. So I think, we just kind of went away from what we were doing successfully in the first half.
Back in the Stampede, I'm Mark Johnson of KOA Radio, joined now by J.R. Payne, the head coach of the CU women's basketball team. They had a couple of tough ones, 2 ranked opponents, Cal and Stanford, on Friday and Sunday, respectively, at the Coors Event Center. And if only those games would have stopped at halftime. You had leads in both halftime.
Man, it's unfortunate this weekend that we had to play 4 quarters, but that's just the way it goes.
Take us back to the Cal ball game. Knock off number 24, or fall to number 24, Cal, 65-53.
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal opponent. 2 top 25 teams this weekend. Cal, extremely athletic. They have one of the best post players in the entire country in Christine Inigwe. We did a great job in the first half. Obviously, their halftime speech was get the ball inside to Christine, and she just erupted in the second half. It was really hard to contain her.
Your interior defense, how has that been this season, though, against players of that caliber?
Well, in the first game against Cal, we defended her with 3-4 people at a time. So as soon as the ball went inside, we double-teamed, triple-teamed, quadruple-teamed almost, forcing the ball outside, trying to get other people to beat us. And it really worked. In the second half, we just kind of got away from it.
Outscored in the second half of the ball game. What began to happen in the third and fourth periods?
Honestly, it felt like the beginning of the third quarter, it felt like everything we had done that was successful in the first half, really aggressive, rebounding, triple teaming, Christine and doing everything we wanted to do. We just went away from it for some reason, and it led very quickly to their offensive production and our lack thereof.
Alexis Robinson gave you a nice ball game. She had 18 points in the contest.
Yeah, Lexi was great this weekend. Her sister's in town visiting. I don't know if that's part of it. She felt some extra motivation, but Lexi was phenomenal. She's a great player, and we need her to be aggressive the way she was this weekend.
And Haley Smith gave you 10 points.
Yeah, Haley's just steady Eddie, right? She rebounds, she defends, she scores, she plays 3 positions a night. She's just done really well for us.
Now take us to the game on Sunday. Once again, another game against Stanford where you had the lead at the half.
Yeah, 1-point lead at halftime against a great Stanford team. Talked really important to come out strong in the second half. I thought we did a much better job this game than we did Friday, but in the end, they're deeper, they're bigger, and we got out rebounded pretty well tonight.
So do you look at giving up second second half leads a blip, something you need to be concerned about? How do you view
I don't know, something that we need to focus on. I don't know about concern, but something we need to focus on the first 2, 3, 4 possessions of the second half, and I think those are areas that we can do better.
And with the team, do you think you lose a couple of ball games like this? I mean, does this team still understand the level it's got to play at, confidence, all those kind of things?
I think so. I think we're really beginning to understand two things. One, we can play with anybody. I mean, we've shown that. These are some of the best teams in our league, and we're playing with them. We're beating them in a half. But we're also learning that you have to play for 40 minutes. We can't beat anybody with only a 1/2 effort.
Right. Offensively, how do you feel about the Buffs there?
I mean, I thought today was great. I don't know the last time Stanford gave up 70 points. So, you know, real good defensive team. We scored the ball inside, outside, moved the ball pretty well. It's just, I think a big part of it's rebounding. We got to do better there.
Now the Buffs got to go on the road, right?
Yeah, it's good though. I mean, the road's fun. We love Coors Event Center. We also love going on the road, so why not?
We're going to talk to Makenzie Ellis here in just a couple of minutes in the program. Give us a comment or two about her.
Oh, Kenzie's just, great effort. She's a kid that comes to practice happy every day. She's always positive, always upbeat. Someone that picks her teammates up and really a joy to be around.
This kind of conference zone, you and I were joking about, I think, in the show last week. It's there's never a week off.
No.
I mean, catch your breath.
That's what we said after Friday's game. We said, our opponent Sunday's going to be great, and then next Friday they're going to be great, and then the next Sunday they're going to be great. Just, everybody's good. You got to be ready to go.
Do you think, from an attitude standpoint, your team understands that?
Oh, I think so. We do. It's just, it's tough. We're rebuilding our program, and that's more than just a basketball. That's a mentality. That's a confidence. That's a chip on your shoulder. It's all the things that it takes to be successful.
Do you think then, from your perspective, from the head coach, certainly you got to deal with the X's and O's, but part of your job is to massage them mentally?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. We've lost 4 of 5, and we need to find the things that we're good at, find the things that we're doing well, build on those things. We also need to talk about the things we're not doing well and attack those weaknesses and get better.
What do you think right now this team's doing well?
I think we're moving the ball well. I think we're taking care of the ball well. Our turnover numbers have got to be tops in the conference because we really take care of the ball well.
That's a good thing for the Buffaloes. And then when you look at this team defensively, what do you want to work on?
We got to rebound.
Rebound?
We scheme pretty well. We turn people over, but we've got to be able to finish plays and limit second chances.
I was a former coach here for the CU that used to say that rebounding's a will and a want to.
Absolutely. Whoever said that, I agree 100%. Absolutely.
That was Jeff Bzdelic, by the way, and his teams didn't always have success, but he had a good mentality. Well, good luck as you head out on the road in the Pac-12.
Thank you. We're excited to keep going.
All right. That is head coach J.R. Payne. We're going to continue here in the Stampede. We'll get a player's perspective on the 2 ball games against Cal and Stanford. Makenzie Ellis is going to join us next.
Kennedy, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
You're from Texas. I have some good friends from Texas, and they seem to have this Texas pride about them. Do you have that, where your whole room is just like Texas flags?
Well, I know a ton of people who do that, but I grew up in Chicago, so I only spent, I think, like 6 or 7 years in Texas. So I'm not like a all Texas everything, but all of my friends I know have like Texas flags in their room, and they're like Texas or die or all that stuff.
You got the cowboy boots and the plaid shirt.
They go all out.
You have 2 sisters. One's a lawyer and one's studying law. Does that put a little pressure on you to be a lawyer?
Actually no. My sisters keep on telling me that if I keep on getting good and if I ever go pro, they'll be my agents and all that. So they help me with that, but I don't know. I've never wanted to really be a lawyer. They're really good at arguing.
What's another thing besides basketball that you find contentment in?
I really like to play soccer, and then I also just got a puppy.
No way.
Yeah.
In college?
Yeah, in college.
How are you?
Well, my parents. So I had him. I got him from a shelter.
Okay.
His name is Gus. He's a German Shepherd.
He could protect you, right?
Yeah, he can. But during the season, my parents are kind of watching him, taking care of him, and then I'll get him back after the season. Yeah.
Well, Kennedy, thank you. Congratulations on your season.
Thank you.
And cut back on the milkshake and fries, okay? Because it's not going to help you with the future.
There's Audrey and Kennedy off the court. Back here, it's Mark and Makenzie Ellis joining us from the CU women's basketball team. That Kennedy, she can talk a little bit, can't she?
Definitely, yeah.
Man, did she ever stop talking like in practice?
I mean, she's always going until she's ready to play. Then it's, then it's business.
Then it's getting down to business. Hey, the Buffs got down to business against Cal Stanford, top of a couple of top 25 teams. Had a lead at the half of both those ball games, and Makenzie ended up dropping both of those ball games. Give us a thought or two about the weekend for the Buffaloes.
I think, in the Cal game, it was just about finishing. We had a great job, came out and gave them a run for their money, and then we just didn't finish in the second half, and that was our issue. I think in this game, we did a way better job of putting it to them and keeping it up against Stanford, but again, we just didn't finish in the last few minutes.
There's an old adage in sports that says, start fast, finish strong.
Mm-hmm.
Is finishing an issue with this team or something you guys have to work on?
I think it is. It's just staying focused for 40 minutes, and I think as we continue to grow, that's something that we're definitely going to have to work on.
All right. This team learning a new system with a new coach, number of young players in this team. How would you evaluate kind of the progression of this squad?
I think, as you could tell, like at the beginning of the season, it's been very well. Just this new coaching staff has brought a new culture to this team and just given us a new, energy, I would say, that's helped us bring new life compared to last season. I think that we needed that, and it's just been nice giving us more to be aggressive and to just be who we are. So.
One thing we found out too, as good as, and you guys were great in non-conference. Outstanding. Had one loss, in fact, non-conference. Mm-hmm. This conference that the Buffs play in the Pac-12, it's like a murderer's row, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
game in and game
difficult.
out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Buffaloes end up dropping 2 ball games, had the lead at both halves at half of both games against Cal and Stanford, and now head out on the road. A little bit about your game. When I was talking with Coach Payne about you, she said big player, post up, but a great shooter as well. Huh?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
So how does that fit into the game plan with Colorado?
I think, definitely for me, playing with some great players like Kennedy and Lex and coming off those ball screens, and it's helped me to be able to spot up and shoot. So when they're not open, I'm that next option, and I think that's been really great for us this season.
Makenzie's an Oklahoma native. How does an Oklahoman get away from the Sooners and the Cowgirls there to make it to Boulder, Colorado, become a Buffalo?
Definitely, I have a lot of family here, so that was kind of the draw, I think. But Oklahoma, it never felt like my roots, I would say.
Okay.
For me, but Colorado is just an amazing place. I love it. The mountains, it's just gorgeous.
Are you a skier?
No, I am not. Not a very good one, at least.
Well, they don't do that in Oklahoma, so you didn't grow up doing it. Yeah. Exactly. I know your interest in physical therapy. Is that right, from an educational standpoint?
I've actually taken a turn to probably physician's assistant, I think, as well, yeah.
All right. Do you ever maybe nurse some of the players in your team?
No. Sometimes people do come to me actually, and they're like, "Oh, Kenzie has, she'll have the medicine if you need anything, all the different stuff." So when we were in the dorm, it's like, "Oh, kind of come down with the cold." I was like, "I got you guys." So
She's kind of a nursemaid to the team a little bit. Well, congratulations on all the success. Keep up the good work, and good luck as the Buffs head on the road.
Thank you very much.
All right, Makenzie Ellis joining us here on the Buffalo Stampede as we wrap things up. We'll talk to you next week talking hoops as both the men and women are knee-deep in Pac-12 conference play.